Welcome again to Biz Pulse with me, Cindy Mab. This thing of Clive is really contagious. But we continue with the business of the day. Business schools need to evolve to prepare the business leaders of tomorrow by providing executive and managerial skills. And this is according to Henley Business School. And we have Dean John Foster-Pedley joining us from Henley Business School. Thank you so much for your time, and I almost want to curtsy and say, Dean, welcome to you. 230,000 Rand it is for an MBA. What's the duration of it in Henley?
Our one is about 24 months minimum. You can do it over 5 years. So it's for grown-ups. So it's for people with a job and the people with families. And the average age is 38. So if you want to do an MBA, come to us. Because, you know, and it's younger than that. But anyway.
Oh, bless you. Thank you. Yeah. But it is imperative that you have these qualifications which are required for the future, because we know that the industries we're talking about that will create employment need innovation. It's not the jobs that we are recycling at the moment.
Well, that's exactly right, Cindy. I mean, qualifications are important. But qualifications for the sake of having a qualification doesn't help you much. I mean, what you really want is skills. We have a motto at Henley, which is we build a people who build the businesses that build Africa. So what we're trying to do is produce leaders and business owners and creators of business who can create value for people and make society better through good business. And that means you've got to be quite innovative to do that.
Yeah, but what sets you apart from the conventional business schools?
Well, two things, I think. One is we're a triple accredited business school, which means that we are heavily audited by the Americans, Europeans, and the British. So they're always telling us what to do and how to improve. And the second thing is people say we have heart. And while we have very good academics, we really care about building confidence in people. We have a family-friendly MBA, for example. So instead of MBAs damaging families and relationships, we try and make that a positive thing. So we have evenings where the kids come in and we talk about resilient parenting and all those sort of things to help make the MBA experience much more livable and more human.
Yeah, and does your MBA translate into mega business account as opposed to Masters of Business Administration?
Well, as the thing from Marriage Breakup Academy or the Making Babies Academy, whichever one you want, yes. One would like to think so. I mean, there's no guarantee, of course, but the statistics show that if you do an MBA, particularly a good MBA, a triple accredited one, then you're going to get better careers after that. But we're much more interested in building skills for people so that in 5 or 10 years they build new businesses. It's not just having a job and a corner office. You want to be the cornerstone of a new business and build that whole thing up.
Why do you think that? I mean, there's so much effort and resources put into the entrepreneurial drive and creating employment in South Africa, but it seems fragmented, that we are like two ships at night. We're just not locking the opportunity with the resources and producing the right skills.
I think that's right. I mean, what happens is people say, let's make entrepreneurs. And so they sit them in a classroom, they teach them marketing and governance and finance, which is all good stuff. But early stage entrepreneurs don't think like that. What they first do is they grab what's around them and make something happen. So they use whatever they've got. They think not about the big profits they're going to make necessarily. They think, how much can I afford to lose? And I'm going to try and experiment with that. And then what they do is they're very good at making something out of nothing. So if life gives you lemons, they make lemonade really, really well. And then they have lots of relationships with odd people. They make a patchwork quilt of relationships. And when the opportunities come, they're ready to move in this direction or that direction. So what you need to do is do action learning. You have to build confidence and make them flexible and imaginative. And particularly you have to make them brave, because it's really hard to be an entrepreneur. It's your money at stake, and it takes some guts to do that.
So what's the next big thing? I mean, I know the technology era, we've passed that, information age. So in terms of recycling ideas, are there any original ideas in your view that still can be applied?
Well, to answer that question, ask yourself, you know, are the problems we're facing big in front of us? And they're huge. And do you think the way we have of dealing with those problems and thinking about them is good enough at the moment? And it clearly isn't. So if you're going to think differently and solve problems differently, you have to be innovative. So it's not about making a better piece of water, a bottle of water or something.
I'll drink to that.
Yeah, thank you very much. This is your water, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
But it's actually about giving people a new way of thinking. How do you get people to be inventive? How do schools create people that are job worthy or can make new businesses? It's about employability, it's about possibility. rather than just the old academic models. It's not just about passing exams, important that it is. It's about using the knowledge to apply it towards something. And only when you apply knowledge, do you really get to learn about it? And you often find that what you learned is really partial, and you really discover it when you're trying it out.
And how backwards or how far, what more needs South Africa do? Because you seem to say that there's this compression. We have highly functional academic people, professionals, etc., but we're just not reaching that level of you know, critical innovation where we can solve the problems around us.
Well, the first thing is people often worry about, you know, are we good enough? So let's lower the standards to pass the exams. Well, I can tell you, our MBA students, who are 70% black, 42% women, they're examined offshore by the same people who examine the Chinese, blind examined, and they pass their exams better than those people in China and Europe. So we've got all the intelligence we want here. The difficulty is we don't have a context which is challenging us in the way that somebody would have in China or Europe. You need a very complex environment to test your thinking. So what we have to do is create education that gives people a world perspective and doesn't mollycoddle them. It's actually, to educate properly is a really tough thing. You've got to contain people and help them, give them confidence, but you've got to stretch them as well. You can't lower the standards. You've got to stretch and push people. And once you believe in people, you realize that people can reach those standards, and we can in South Africa as well.
You're really inspiring. Thank you so much, Dean. So if somebody wants to study at Henley, they just go to your website. Do you have outreach programs?
We do. We have a program called MBA, where we work with about 230 NGOs, and we give a whole range of bursaries and scholarships. And every one of our staff has to be doing one of our programs or another program, or they can't stay with us. So we have a massive pressure for skills development and empowerment within Henley. So if you want to know about us, just look us up on the web, but look at the other schools too. Make up your mind. If you come to us, be ready that for a hard journey, but one that's going to get you an MBA or other qualifications, a global standard, and set you up around the world for your work, for your career in the future.
Okay, so applications are open.
Always open.
Okay, no, much appreciated, and happy holidays to you.
Thank you, and to you, Cindy.
If we don't see you. That's Dean John of Foster-Pedley of Henley Business School, and you can look them up on their website for a variety of qualifications that will set you up for a better perspective in the future. But for now, that's pretty much the show, just as I'm beginning to have fun. But thanks indeed for joining us. I'll be back again just now with the latest news update.